our next speaker is here with us in the room. We have Bridget Makhura, who is the Clicks Group Chief People Officer. Diversity, equity, and inclusion. A difficult conversation in the South African and African context. Uncomfortable conversation. But we need to be fostering diverse, equitable, and inclusive workspaces. We cannot talk sustainability and not talk to these key issues that are affecting everyday citizens. Because diversity, equity, and inclusion leads to innovation and ultimately to belonging. Bridget, how are you?
I'm doing well. Diversity and inclusion is a tough topic in South Africa. It is not an easy one to talk about because most of the time it's got perception linked to it that as you are going towards more diverse teams or more diverse people, you are going to lose on performance. And that is where the tug of war most of the time seems to be sitting in. But I think many organizations are proving that wrong. My name is Bridget Makhura. I've recently joined the Clicks Group. And so I've been here for about a month and a half. And it is quite a privilege to talk about a company that has done so much on diversity, equity, and inclusion. And I think the majority of it is around making sure that the top leadership is very much aligned to the idea and the ideology and the perspective that you're actually trying to do. So just for everybody's clarity, if you are not aware of the group, Clicks was formed in 1968. This was a company that was formed with the vision of being a leading health and beauty retailer in South Africa. The group is made up of a couple of brands. This is Clicks. I think you guys, a lot of people will be familiar with the Clicks retailer, which has about a footprint of over 1,000 stores and are over 700 pharmacies within some of the stores. What most people might not know is around the other parts of the group, which is the bigger part is UPD, which is a distribution and wholesale channel of Clicks, not only distributing to Clicks but distributing to hospitals and other organizations. We recently opened the baby shop and the body shop that people might know about, and our youngest acquisition is the Sobe Service Beauty Group. And I just wanted to just give people a perspective of how wide this and big the organization is. In terms of sustainability, we have built our sustainability strategy based on 4 pillars. These 4 pillars are obviously aligned to sustainability development goals, and we believe that we can make a positive impact in society. So, our wide networks of clinics actually provides us with an opportunity to be able to make not just an impact in people that have, but also just make an impact in the society or greater society where people might not be able to have access. So the first one was built around building a trusted and accessible healthcare network. And just talking about accessibility and affordability, this is making sure that we've got clinics and pharmacies, pharmacy services around where most of the areas where there is a shortage. And more recently, we've partnered with Pillow Pepper Train. And I don't know if everybody knows that Pillow Pepper Train provides healthcare services to areas where, like rural areas where healthcare is not easily accessible. The second one is around empowering and motivated, passionate people. This is the more crux of what we're going to be talking about today, but this is more around empowering and making sure that our people within the organization are motivated and feel included, such that they can be able to deliver more results all the time. The fourth one is around minimizing our environmental footprint. And this we have seen come alive in more recently, where we have invested in electric vehicles that do our deliveries from UPD. So just giving you a little bit of a snippet on some of the stuff that we do from a sustainability perspective. The third one is on sourcing products that uphold our integrity of our brands. And this is most of the time trying to source locally and making sure that all of our partners adhere to our ESG protocols and ethos and belief. And I think one of the great examples around Porsche M, where we were the first retailer to list Porsche M, that and not just one product, but a full range of Porsche M, and help the brand actually make sure that they are retail ready. So we did most of that work to get them to be able to be retail ready. And I think just to add to that, only 8% of our sourcing is done outside of South Africa. So from a sustainability perspective, we are making sure that we are doing our bit. And I think just maybe honing in on the pillar number 2, which is around empowering and motivated, passionate people, I would like to just give a few stats and highlight some of where we start when we talk about diversity and inclusion. We start at the board level, where 44% of our board is made up of women. This is an important point because you cannot do diversity and inclusion if you do not have leadership buy-in. So we have got as a fundamental that our board is made up of a diverse group. So 4 out of 9 of our board members are actually females. We have the first female retail CEO for a listed JSE company. And we've got a whole host of matrix that we can brag about, that 62% of our workforce is female. We can talk about the fact that 44% of our workforce just benefits from the wellness programs that we have a variety of these wellness programs, and we make sure that they are available to our entire workforce. From a marketplace perspective, there is a lot of investment that goes into making sure that the marketplace itself is quite representative. We go and when we invest into small businesses, we make sure that we invest more into female-owned businesses, and this is a conscious choice that is built into our ethos as a business. We provide more franchises in Sobe to more females than we have on males. So in terms of diversity and inclusion, from a business perspective, this is across our value chain, and we make sure that when we invest within our community, we invest in the right way. But I think I'm going to spend more time just giving a case study of how we have brought inclusion to come alive a little bit in our organization. So I'm going to digress, and talk about the work that we have done in our community. So I know we were supposed to just be talking about our environment within the organization, but one of the important things is to make sure that the people that come through the work environment are the slate in which you are actually going to recruit from has got a diverse background. And that will actually enable us to be able to recruit better and make sure that the people that we recruit are of a diverse background. So one of the initiatives that we actually invest a lot in is the Girls on the Go. This is a program that was launched over a decade ago. This is us being able to provide dignity packs and sanitary pads distributed nationwide to girls so that they do not miss school. This Girls on the Go was launched a decade ago in order to bring dignity back into young girls and make sure that when during a work year, during a school calendar, during a year, the girls most likely who do not have access to sanitary pads, sanitary wear, miss on average about 5 days a month, and they are not able to be educated in the same level, in the same rate as their male counterpart. That already puts them on a back foot, so that they don't have the same level of access as the other ones. We have supported this initiative throughout and donated over 625,000 disposable pads per year, and distributed it countrywide, especially in the areas where it's rural and there is lack of where there is a lot of poverty. This initiatives, I know it sounds like we are going towards the community, but for us it's around making sure that we are promoting girls from when they are still at school, so that they can be able to join our workforce in the later stage. Actually recognized by the Wits Chancellor, Dr. Dlamini, who asked us now to support some of the university students. What she had identified within the Wits University is that the students actually, they have got the same sort of problems that we are facing in schools, that they are missing lectures because they do not have access to sanitary wear during their monthly cycles. And we partnered with them from 2023, and we launched a pilot at Wits universities where a university student can use our club card. And this is us using our business to actually make an impact. They can use the club card, pick up Clicks sanitary wear and dignity packs. It's not just sanitary wear, it's actually a dignity pack, and be able to swipe it at the till, and they swipe it as if they are a normal customer. In that way, they can be able to preserve their dignity. It does not look like you do not have, and it's a handout. So they go into a store and can be able to shop a dignity pack every month using the club card and obviously the vet student card, so that we can be able to target this. This was a pilot that we ran in 2023 and 2024 that we are now going to roll out to the rest of the universities, so that we can be able to restore dignity back into our university student. This program just reflects the broader Clicks commitment to actually making sure that we can have accessible healthcare, but more inclusive healthcare for everyone. I would like just maybe to spend more time just having a conversation on diversity and inclusion in the communities and within our business. And if everybody has got a questions for us as a group, that we can be able to answer, maybe I will be able to pause here and see if there could be an interactive session going forward.
Thank you very much, Bridget, and that was a very insightful presentation. And like you said, you would like to take questions and then continue with your presentation later. Okay. I see in the chat here, Malako, 2023 pilot study, did it categorize what are student background? I think if I get the question correctly, what were the student background of the pilot study that Clicks did in 2023? Bridget?
Sure. The background of the students were the students that qualified for NEFSAS. So this would be students that comes from impoverished background that qualify for NEFSAS, but most of them it's because NEFSAS gives you you can buy food, you can buy books, and they pay for school. But they don't necessarily pay for the dignity packs as it may. So we identified people that come from an impoverished background, so that we can be able to uplift uplift those students as well.
Thank you very much, Bridget, and I hope that answers your question, Malako. And with the rollout to these university students, I think you mentioned that you would want to roll the same program that you successfully did with VIT to other universities. It would be great for us to hear from you what is the success, and if you could tie that also to social impact of the program, it would be great to hear, and why you now, intending to roll it out to other universities as a way of sustainability.
Sure. I think there was a follow-up with a comment that NEFSA students are not impoverished. It's an interesting point. They are actually getting a stipend from the university, but if you look at what the stipend actually covers, it is not enough for the female students to be able to afford everything that they need, to at least be able to attend classes as much as their male counterpart. I think when you're talking about impact, it's the impact is around absenteeism. And at VETS, we had seen a sharp decline in absenteeism from female students. That means that we are actually graduating more people, or the amount of effort that I have to put in order to pass is a little bit, or it is equal to the ones for their male counterpart. But yes, NEFSA students do come from an impoverished background. But if you do have another criteria that we could use as we roll out, we would appreciate your ideas around that.
Yes, the recommendation around that. No, thanks, Bridget. I would like us to talk about CO2 and value chain and transportation and all of that. You mentioned a project that Clicks recently, correct me if I'm wrong, did you acquire the startup, or it's part of an in-house innovation when it comes to using electric mode of transportation for your within your value chain?
Sure. This is in-house. So we used to outsource 100% of our deliveries to an external company. I don't think it's worth us mentioning the name. But what we have realized is that if you need to make a big change, you have to make it internally. And we needed to be able to control our carbon emission, not just within the business, but throughout the value chain. So being able to move the deliveries in-house. And when we're saying in-house, we actually empowering owner-driver. So we've started an owner-driver scheme that is ran in-house, and they are provided for with electric vehicles. So we are solving a socio-economic issues by having more people that have access to this owner-driver scheme, and at the same time reducing our carbon emission.
I don't want this conversation to be between myself and Bridget alone. Please ask questions in the chat. Otherwise, you can raise your digital hand, and we'll give you opportunity to, switch on your microphone. And if you want to put on your video also to ask Bridget questions,
Sure.
please do so. I see there is a question here from Mohaji. What does it take for clicks to use an SMME like Moaji payroll services to pay your employees? Oh, wow. That's an interesting one, Bridget.
Okay, we have got an extensive program when it comes to growing our SMMEs. It would take you registering as part of our SMME program, and obviously if something like payroll services, we would need to test it at a smaller scale and be able to scale up. So I would suggest that you maybe get in contact with us, and then we can look at we can assess that payroll system.
No, that's an encouraging response because I would imagine, and by the way, Moaji, that's a bold question also from you because I would imagine um, clicks using Moaji payroll system, you know, how many, what's the staff complement of clicks, Bridget?
We've got over 20,000 people.
Over 20,000 people, that would be interesting. Malako, please, yes, switch on your microphone and video if you want and ask your question.
Thank you, Bridget. So I was more interested in terms of your pilot studies. Maybe there are areas which are currently marginalized, but maybe due to your constraints, you could not reach out to them because you've also made an initiative to reach out to the university students. Do you want to grow your initiatives maybe rather in your primary and high schools rather than maybe the higher education? Because I also like to qualify that maybe if one was running the study but they were potentially able to check maybe other criterias like the money that one receives for as a stipend from NFSAS, and would that enable them not to have a dignity? But maybe because I haven't seen the study, maybe I'm also of the view that they stand a better chance of dignifying themselves, but maybe you feel like you've matured your primary and secondary initiatives as well. They're very matured. Thanks. You wanted to try something else.
Okay. The going for university, Makhura, you can bring your camera back. It's better to talk to someone. The initiatives to go into universities was more a call from the university chancellor. It is not the primary initiative. The primary initiative is the Girls on the Go, where we're focusing primarily on learners in the primary education, the basic education sphere, not necessarily going after universities. This was a request from VETS, and we've seen that there is also a need there. That's why we went there. But our primary objective is for impoverished schools, actually. And if we can widen the network, we can. We do have a network that runs across the country.
Please go ahead, Imran.
Bridget, I've posted. Thank you so much for your presentation and your talk. I posted in the chat. So from a diversity and inclusion perspective, my interest is on generational cohorts that must end up in the world of work. And my research found that from a South Africa perspective, we've had an impact from a milestone event, which is apartheid, right? And the different generations since apartheid generation, we had the struggle generation between 1960 and 1980. They're still working for us. Then we have the Afrillennials, which is what we call the transition generation between 1980 and 1993, as well as the Born Frees, right? Which then becomes like the Gen Zs, the Gen Alphas. So my question though is, from a clicks perspective, how are you guys creating those dialogues and conversations where people that have started out as cashiers or packers or whatever, moving up the ranks, to create meaningful work as managers, as leaders, as team leaders across your value chain, whether it's in a call center or in a shop, for example. And then, I want to get involved with those type of conversations as well. If we can chat. Thank you.
Sure. I think that's a very good question. I think maybe let's start the conversation for us start at a board level. And I think one of the first things I highlighted was that our inclusion initiatives actually start at the highest, the top levels, and actually are supported by our CEO, who is very passionate about diversity and inclusion. So if you look at our business, we've got only about 6% of people that you call the ones that had lived in the apartheid era. I'll use your terminology. I wouldn't have used that. I would call them a little bit more mature people. And then we've got the millennials, about 25% of the millennials, and then below that we've got the much younger crowd. But what we have seen is that through our integrated programs within the business, so we've got a program where we bring in people directly from Matric, where we train them into assistant pharmacists. This is the QPBs that we've got, and we have trained thousands of people throughout the years. This is again an initiative that, I mean, if you just look at the numbers itself, we are one of the biggest trainers of pharmacy QPBs in South Africa, outside of universities. One of the major conversations that we have is around how do we do skills transfer from people that are coming at a highly skilled level, and also the people that have worked their way from being an assistant in the shop and working their ways to being an operations managers. And some of these stories, actually seeing them come alive within the business. We've got people that have worked here for 40 years that have worked their way from being at the store level and looking after operations. I mean, one person comes to mind where right now he's running one of the big operations. But he started off at a store level, and these type of examples do come alive. But I think when you're talking about formalizing the conversation, maybe that's something that you can come in and we can have that formalized talk. But at the moment, it is around sharing the stories, and we've got town halls and where we share some of these stories and on how to inspire the young guys that are coming in, especially the ones from the shop floor level, to show them that they can be able to have a career within the business. At the same time, from a formal perspective, we do have career progressions that we run through the business, and also training across the different levels, so that people can progress within the business and not only be at the store, but all the way to the head office level.
Thank you so much for that. I'm looking forward to a chat after. Thank you.
Okay, fantastic. I would like to pause here because one of the major things that I wanted to highlight is the fact that when we look at diversity and inclusion, we don't look at it in internally only, but we look at how do we make sure that our ecosystem is inclusive as well. And that is the work that we were doing and just highlighting that case on sanitary towels.
No, thank you. Thank you very much, Bridget, for that emphasis. Any parting shots?
I think just maybe talking about having progressive organizations that are willing to have results and numbers similar to this is the fundamental thing starts from the top. You need to be able to have buy-in from the top so that we can be able to change the makeup of the organization. For us, it did not happen overnight, and I think that just being able to have a more diverse board and coming down to having a diverse senior leadership team makes that the conversation becomes a little bit easier, and we can even use our muscle or our organization to be able to have an impact sustainably outside the business itself.
Thank you so much, Bridget. Thank you. Thanks to Clicks Group, for being part of the Africa CEO Impact and Sustainability Meeting 2025.
Great, thank you.